You ever walk into someone's house and wonder, how in the world is this place always so clean? Like, do they have a secret cleaning crew hiding in the closet? Or are they secretly scrubbing baseboards at midnight? Well, here's the truth I've noticed, especially with seniors who always seem to have their homes together. They're not cleaning harder than the rest of us. They're not spending every Saturday with a mop in one hand and a sponge in the other. They just have these small daily habits that keep everything looking neat without turning cleaning into a second career. Today, I'm going to walk you through 10 of those little secrets. These aren't the boring, obvious tips you've heard 100 times. They're clever, practical, and honestly kind of life-changing once you try them. And hey, if you stick around, you might even pick up a couple tricks that'll make your place feel cleaner by tonight without breaking a sweat. Number 1. They reset, not deep clean. Here's the thing most people don't realize about folks who always seem to have clean homes. They're not scrubbing baseboards every Saturday or polishing silverware until midnight. Nope. What they're doing is something a lot smarter and easier. They reset. Think about it like this. At the end of the day, your house is like a stage after a play. The actors, you, the grandkids, the dog who thinks he owns the couch, have all done their thing, and now it looks a little lived in. A reset just means putting the stage back in order, so when the show starts tomorrow, you're not tripping over yesterday's props. I remember a senior gentleman saying he walks around his living room before bed with a small basket in his hand. Anything that doesn't belong, magazines, reading glasses, that one slipper he somehow took off mid-nap, goes into the basket. Then he takes a minute to put things where they belong. He joked, "I like to think of myself as the stage crew. I don't star in the show anymore, but I sure make the set look good." It's such a simple trick, but it works like magic. The reset doesn't take an hour. It doesn't even take half an hour. 10 minutes, tops. The next morning, instead of being greeted by clutter and feeling behind before your day even starts, you're walking into calm. And here's the beauty. You don't get that mountain of mess problem anymore. You know, the one where dishes pile up for 3 days until you need a pep talk just to tackle the sink? A reset stops that from happening. It's like brushing your teeth. Small effort daily, big payoff later. 2. They have micro-cleaning moments. Now let's talk about the second secret. Micro-cleaning moments. This one makes me smile because once you start noticing them, you realize they're everywhere. Seniors with clean homes don't save cleaning for some mythical Saturday deep clean session that never actually happens. Instead, they squeeze in these teeny tiny moments of cleaning throughout the day. It's sneaky. You barely even realize you're doing it. For example, I know a lady who swears her sink is always clean because she has this rule. If she's waiting for the kettle to boil, she wipes down the counters. That's it. No, I'll get to it later. Just boom. 2 minutes, done. And it works because those 2 minutes, repeated day after day, keep the mess from snowballing. Another man said he uses commercial breaks as his secret weapon. When the TV show cuts to ads, he'll fold the laundry, take out the trash, or sweep the crumbs under the table. He laughed and said, "By the time the news is over, my house looks like elves came through." Spoiler: the elves are me. And honestly, micro-cleaning feels better than marathon cleaning. Let's be real. Nobody wakes up thinking, "Oh boy, I can't wait to scrub the bathroom for an hour." But wiping the mirror after you brush your teeth? That's painless. Wiping the stove right after frying eggs instead of letting grease fossilize until next week? That's painless too. It's like taking little sips of cleaning instead of chugging the whole glass at once. And here's the funny part. You don't just end up with a cleaner house, you end up with more free time. Because those small actions save you from those dreaded half-the-day-gone cleaning sprees later on. So yeah, the seniors with tidy homes aren't necessarily more disciplined than the rest of us. They're just sly. They weave cleaning into the natural pauses of life, waiting for the microwave, waiting for the coffee, waiting for the dog to finish sniffing the same bush for the 20th time. 3. They simplify what they own. You ever notice how some people's homes feel instantly calmer the moment you walk in? It's not because they've scrubbed every corner. It's because they just don't have mountains of stuff lying around. Seniors with ever-clean homes have learned the magic of simplifying what they own. Now, I'm not talking about living like a monk with one spoon and a yoga mat. I mean, they've figured out which things actually matter to them and they let go of the rest. One senior lady put it beautifully. I spent the first half of my life collecting things, and the second half realizing I didn't need half of them. The truth is, the more stuff you own, the more stuff owns you. Every single item is something to dust, wipe, move, or trip over. You don't need 6 mixing bowls if you always grab the same 2. You don't need a closet full of "maybe I'll wear this again" outfits if your go-to is that comfy pair of jeans and your favorite cardigan. And honestly, nobody needs a drawer full of pens that don't even write anymore. But don't ask me why we all seem to have one. One widower I knew downsized to a small condo after his wife passed, and he told me something that stuck. When I got rid of all the extras, I realized I wasn't just cleaning less. I was worrying less. It's like the house could finally breathe again. And that's the hidden benefit here. It's not just about less dusting, it's about less stress. A simpler home means fewer decisions, fewer piles, and fewer "where the heck did I put that?" moments. So the secret isn't having a spotless home, it's having less stuff to mess up in the first place. Honestly, half the battle is not letting clutter through the front door. Or as one old-timer joked, "I don't buy things I don't need, because that's just future dust waiting for me." 4. They use strategic landing zones. Now let me tell you about one of the cleverest tricks seniors with clean homes use. They don't fight their habits, they outsmart them. And the way they do it is by creating what I call landing zones. Think about it. You walk into your house, keys in one hand, mail in the other, maybe groceries dangling off your arm. Where do all those things land? For most people, it's wherever gravity takes them. Keys on the couch, mail on the counter, bags on the floor. Before you know it, the place looks like a yard sale exploded. But the seniors with tidy homes? They set up little designated spots for the things they know are going to get dumped anyway. A basket by the door for keys and wallets, a tray on the entry table for mail, a shoe rack right where the shoes always pile up. It sounds ridiculously simple, but it works like magic. One gentleman told me he used to lose his keys at least once a week. He'd spend 20 minutes pacing the house, muttering under his breath, and blaming his poor dog for hiding them. Then he got himself a little ceramic bowl by the door. He said, "Now I only lose time when I forget my glasses, but that's another story. Landing zones don't just stop clutter, they save sanity. Imagine always knowing where your keys are, where the remote belongs, or where today's mail sits until you're ready to sort it. No more wandering around the house playing detective." And here's the best part. These landing zones don't need to be fancy. One lady I know has a bright red plastic bowl for her keys. She said she chose red because "I may not see wrinkles in the mirror anymore, but I can sure spot that bowl from across the room." Practical and foolproof. At the end of the day, clean home seniors aren't forcing themselves to be more disciplined than the rest of us. They're just building little systems that catch the clutter before it spreads. And once you've got these landing zones set up, it feels less like cleaning and more like dropping stuff in its home. 5. They swear by the bed rule. I'll let you in on a little secret. Seniors who always have tidy homes almost never skip making their bed. And I don't mean they're doing hotel military crisp corner perfection. No, it's simpler than that. It's about starting the day with one quick win. I once heard a retired teacher say, "Making the bed is like shaking hands with the day. You greet it properly and it treats you better." And you know what? She's right. The bed takes up the biggest chunk of space in your bedroom. When it's messy, the whole room looks messy. But when it's neat, Even if the nightstand is a little cluttered, the whole room suddenly feels under control. Now here's the funny part. A lot of older men I've talked to will admit they don't bother with tucked corners anymore. One widower laughed and told me, "I just throw the blanket over like I'm covering a bird cage." Looks decent enough, and I'm not standing there wrestling with fitted sheets. That's the beauty of it. You don't need perfection, you just need order. And there's another layer to this. For many seniors, making the bed isn't just about cleanliness, it's about rhythm. It signals the start of the day. It's a ritual that says, okay, I'm up, I'm moving, life is happening. Without it, the day kind of drifts. With it, you're anchored. So really, the bed rule isn't about housekeeping, it's about headspace. You give yourself a small victory right out of the gate. And trust me, once you've got that under your belt, you'll be surprised how it sets the tone for the rest of the day. 6. They keep cleaning tools in reach. Now this one's clever, and honestly, it's the reason some seniors' homes look clean, while others look like they're always mid-project. The tidy ones don't hide their cleaning tools in some deep closet you need a map to find. They keep them close, like little allies in every corner of the house. I remember visiting a family friend who was in her 80s. She had a small roll of paper towels in the bathroom cabinet, a dustpan tucked behind the couch, and a pack of disinfecting wipes right under the coffee table. I asked her why she spread them around like that, and she said, "Honey, if I have to walk all the way to the laundry room for a rag, that spill's just going to live here until next week." She wasn't lazy, she was realistic. Out of sight really does mean out of mind. And that's the trick. Seniors with clean homes remove the friction. If a mess happens, they've already got the tools nearby to fix it in 2 seconds flat. Spill on the counter? Wipe is right there. Popcorn crumbs on the couch? Mini vacuum at arm's reach. No mental debate, no procrastination, no "I'll get to it later." One man I saw commenting on YouTube said he even keeps a feather duster next to his recliner. While watching TV, he absent-mindedly dusts the shelves around him during commercials. He joked, "My wife thinks I'm fidgeting." Really, I'm running a cleaning empire from the recliner. The beauty of this strategy is that it turns cleaning into something effortless. You don't set aside cleaning time. You just handle things the moment they pop up, because the solution is literally right there. It's not about being more disciplined, it's about being smart enough to make cleaning easy. So when you step into the homes of those seniors who always seem company ready, remember, it's not magic, and it's not hours of hidden scrubbing. It's tools in reach, habits in place, and little resets that snowball into something bigger. 7. They treat cleaning like movement, not chores. Here's a shift in perspective that changes everything. The seniors who seem to have effortlessly clean homes don't treat cleaning as punishment. They treat it as a way to keep their bodies moving. Instead of thinking, "Ugh, I have to mop again," they think, "Hey, that's a little workout for my shoulders." I once met a retired mailman who said, "I gave up the gym years ago. Now I vacuum instead." And he wasn't kidding. He joked that pushing the vacuum around was just walking a stubborn dog indoors. By the time he was finished, he'd clocked a few hundred steps and broken a light sweat. And his carpets? Spotless. The truth is, a lot of seniors see cleaning as double duty. Wiping the counters becomes wrist exercise. Picking up socks counts as squats. Dusting the top shelf? That's a stretch that keeps your shoulders limber. Even making the bed has you bending, pulling, and reaching in ways that keep the joints moving. What makes this clever is that it sneaks activity into your day without you having to schedule exercise. Not everyone feels like walking laps around the block, but folding laundry while standing instead of sitting. That's doable. Sweeping the porch instead of letting leaves pile up. That's a mini workout. And honestly, it's a lot more fun to think of cleaning as movement. One woman told me she dances while wiping the counters. Her mop is basically her dance partner. She laughed and said, "The day I stop waltzing with my Swiffer is the day I'm gone." That kind of mindset makes cleaning not only bearable, but kind of joyful. So when you see seniors with tidy homes, don't assume they're just disciplined cleaners. Many of them are simply treating every small task as a chance to stay flexible and strong. It's not housework, it's house gym, and the membership is free. 8. They use good enough cleaning. Now this one's a lifesaver, because let's be honest, nobody over the age of 60 is scrubbing grout with a toothbrush unless they lost a bet. The seniors who keep their homes clean long-term know when to say, good enough. That doesn't mean their homes are messy. It means they've given up the idea that everything has to sparkle like a showroom. One grandmother told me, if my floors are crumb-free and the bathroom doesn't smell like a bus station, then I'm good. Nobody's eating off my floor anyway, and she's right. Clean enough to feel comfortable, clean enough to feel calm. That's the sweet spot. Anything beyond that, and you're wasting energy on perfection that nobody but you notices. Seniors with tidy homes know their priorities. They wipe the counters, but they don't worry if there's a tiny streak left behind. They sweep the kitchen, but they don't get down on their hands and knees with a magnifying glass. One man said he used to stress about water spots on his bathroom mirror until his daughter told him, "Dad, if people are coming over to judge your mirror, they're not your friends." He said that was the day he decided smudge-free enough was his new standard. And here's the beauty of the good enough mindset. It frees you from burnout. When you don't aim for perfection, you're more likely to actually do the little daily tasks because they don't feel overwhelming. You're not thinking, oh no, this has to look flawless. You're thinking, 5 minutes and it's fine. That's why their homes feel inviting. They're not picture perfect, but they're peaceful. They don't look staged for a magazine. They look lived in, but cared for. And really, isn't that what most of us want? A home that feels warm and welcoming, not sterile and exhausting. So next time you're wiping the counter and you spot that one stubborn streak, remember the wisdom of clean home seniors. Shrug, smile, and say, that's good enough. Life's too short to chase invisible dust bunnies. 9. They protect their entryway. If there's one spot in the house that secretly decides how clean the rest of it feels, it's the entryway. Seniors who always seem to have tidy homes guard that front door like it's a fortress. Why? Because that's where all the mess sneaks in. Dirt from shoes, junk mail, cardboard boxes, random bags of groceries that never fully get put away. If you stop the clutter at the gate, you save yourself a whole house full of headaches. One retired farmer told me he had a rule. Shoes off at the door, no exceptions. He said, I spent my life tracking mud across fields. I'll be damned if I track it across my carpet. And let me tell you, his carpets looked brand new. No fancy cleaning gadgets, just a doormat and a shoe rack. Another senior I knew had what she called her drop zone right inside the door. Hooks for her coat and hat, a basket for mail, a tray for shoes. Packages got opened right there and boxes broken down before they ever made it to the kitchen. She said, if I let cardboard pass the threshold, I know it'll live in my living room for 3 days. So I stop it dead in its tracks. It's not about being strict, it's about being clever. If you let the dirt, paper, and clutter pile up at the entry, it spreads like wildfire. But if you contain it right there, the rest of the house feels instantly more in control. And there's a funny side benefit too. When your entryway is tidy, you're never embarrassed when someone pops by unexpectedly. Nobody likes that panic moment when a neighbor knocks and you're kicking aside 3 pairs of sneakers and hiding unopened mail with your foot. A clean entryway gives you that cool, oh, I wasn't expecting company, but sure, come on in confidence, even if you were actually in your pajamas 5 minutes ago. 10. They end the day with a closing shift. Now here's the crown jewel habit. Seniors with consistently clean homes treat the end of the day like a little closing shift, the way restaurants shut things down at night. They don't leave dirty dishes lurking in the sink like ghosts waiting to scare them in the morning. They don't leave the living room looking like a yard sale exploded. They spend 10, maybe 15 minutes resetting the space so they wake up to calm instead of chaos. One sweet lady compared it to tucking her house into bed. She said, "Just like I wash my face and put on pajamas, I get the house ready for rest too." That way, we both start the morning fresh. I love that. The act isn't just about cleanliness, it's about peace of mind. And honestly, it doesn't take long. Wipe the counters, load the dishwasher, fluff the couch pillows, put the remote where it belongs, maybe take out the trash. Boom. Done. You don't need perfection, you just need a reset. It's like putting the kitchen sign up. Closed for business. I knew a widower who really leaned into this idea. He said his evening ritual was what kept him sane after his wife passed. He'd close out the kitchen, dim the lights, and sit down in his recliner with a cup of tea, knowing tomorrow he'd wake up to a clean slate. He said, "It's not just about cleaning. It's about telling myself, I made it through today, and tomorrow I get to start fresh." And here's the kicker. That little closing shift prevents the dreaded morning overwhelm. You know that feeling when you wake up and see last night's dishes, papers on the table, cushions everywhere, and suddenly your day feels heavy before it even begins. Clean home seniors dodge that completely. They gift themselves a calm morning every single night. The funny part is, once you do it a few times, it actually feels weird not to. A lot of seniors I've talked to said they can't even relax until their closing shift is done. It's their version of brushing their teeth, part of the rhythm of life. So there you have it, the 10 daily habits that seniors with ever-clean homes live by. Nothing crazy, nothing backbreaking, just smart little routines that stack up into homes that feel calm and inviting all the time. And here's the real takeaway. You don't need to suddenly overhaul your whole life. Start with one. Maybe tonight you try that quick closing shift before bed, or tomorrow you give the bed rule a shot. You'll be surprised how those tiny changes ripple out into your whole day. And listen, if you enjoyed this and want more practical, uplifting tips for living well, especially as we get older, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with a friend who might need it. Because a clean home isn't about perfection, it's about peace. And we could all use a little more of that.